Hi, Ann.
Hey,
Hey, do we have the time to go over a few of these comments?
sure, if you'd like.
Sure, why not? Someone was way off the mark saying that he thinks that you're contemplating suicide, which I don't think is the case.
Well, apparently you didn't listen very closely. I'm giving all my stuff away because the IRS is going to levy it. Okay, so what would be, I wonder what his alternative course of action would be. Not give all of my stuff away and let the IRS seize it and then sell it at auction? Seriously? Don't you think the better course of action is to give your stuff away, and so that A, other people can get the benefit of it, and B, the monetary value of it doesn't end up going to the government and paying for more abortions? Duh.
Yeah, this was Aaron, and I don't think Aaron realizes how devout you are and that suicide would be the last thing on earth that you would do.
Exactly. It's just, I think he's trying to underhandedly get in the whole she's psychologically unstable thing, which in other arenas on the internet, that's generally, other than the fact that I am simultaneously the most hideously ugly woman on the face of the earth that most of the guys would then eagerly hit, so to speak. There's that. And then the next angle of attack is she's psychologically unstable and she needs to see a psychiatrist. Yeah, whatever. I'm sure I need to see a head shrinker. Give me a break.
You actually have the knack of making me feel like I'm the one that needs to see a psychiatrist. I start to think maybe you're the only sane one here, because we are going headlong into a system that we all talk the talk about how we're not going to put up with this. We're not going to, locked and loaded. I've been reading these comments for 4 years, and I don't know. I think everybody's marching into the ovens.
I was telling somebody the other day, in a sense, it's funny, because I'm getting all of these emails from people who are saying, you're stupid, your tax strike is stupid, this is all just going to be a complete waste, and you're going to die anonymous and forgotten. And then a lot of those people, because they are conservatives, you know how people put footers on the bottom of their email, with a saying or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
It's the cognitive dissonance, because I'm getting these emails that say, you can't fight the IRS, it's a complete waste of time. And then the footer little quote that they have on the bottom is like Thomas Jefferson's quote about, from time to time, the tree of liberty needs to be watered with the blood of tyrants and patriots. I'm paraphrasing. But, it's something like that. Or Patrick Henry, give me liberty or give me death. And then these people, in their complete cognitive dissonance, are sending me emails saying, it is an utter complete effort and futility to fight the IRS, you're stupid. I'm just like, dude, seriously? Are you so lacking in self-awareness that you don't see the contradiction in all of this? But, whatever. And the other thing is totalitarian regimes, especially over the 20th century, and even before the 20th century, going back to the French Revolution, you have to understand the number one meme that they use to remove people from society is to accuse them of being psychiatrically ill or mentally ill. A lot of the people that were shipped off in the Soviet Union, a lot of the people that were shipped off in Eastern Europe during the 20th century, they hired these quote-unquote psychiatrists. The regime does. And all these quote-unquote psychiatrists do is sit around and fill out forms that say, this and such person is mentally unstable and is a danger to society. They have to be locked up. And then off to the gulag they go, or the dungeon in Romania, or whatever it is. So, it's completely understood and expected that being accused of being insane is exactly what the byproduct of all of this is going to be. Whatever, bring it. I wear it as a badge of honor.
Did you read David Kramer's comment about taking the tack of going under the radar rather than participating in the system, get all your affairs in order, and then just go under the radar?
No, see, that's Bill Whittle's meme, and I disagree vehemently with that. When does playing prevent defense ever work? Seriously, I'm off of TV, but I've watched enough football in my life to know that when you go on prevent defense, you're just begging to get your ass kicked. And, 999 times out of 1,000, that's exactly what's going to happen. What is it going to going under the radar and I'm going to drop out of society. Okay, let's think this through to what the end game is. Where does it end? If everybody goes on prevent defense and nobody stands up to this crap, where is it going to ever end? How is it ever going to end? And it's not. And I mean, this is just more of that ballless chicken shit mindset saying, okay, I got to think of some way where I can avoid having to do anything that will put me in any sort of danger or get me crossways with the IRS or will result in me losing any of my precious shit. That's what all of that is. It's a set and it makes me sick. You have to stand and fight.
Yeah. Old Oaks had a similar comment. You know, get your affairs in order. Don't kick that hornet's nest.
How's that ever worked out? Give me an example in history when not kicking the hornet's nest resulted in victory.
Yeah. All right. I'm reading some more of these comments.
Menderman's one about Limbaugh. You know, we just need one person like Rush Limbaugh to lead this. And in one sense, I agree with that. Yeah, it would be absolutely awesome if some high-profile person did the same thing. But don't hold your breath, okay? Limbaugh is never, ever, ever going to do anything to jeopardize his money, okay? You can say what you want, but the dude is about his money. Let's just say conservatively, I know he's worth hundreds of millions, but let's just say conservatively, Limbaugh is worth $100 million, okay? If you went to Limbaugh and said, okay, here's the deal. If you would just lay down half of your net worth, if you would lay down $50 million, and that meant that you could turn this whole deal around, he wouldn't do it because these people are so attached to that money. And that kind of goes back to our original conversation, you know? These people are so about the money and are so attached to their money that they will never do anything to jeopardize it. Why do you think Limbaugh wasn't screaming from the top of his lungs about the birth certificate? I mean, he kind of coyly mentioned it a couple of times, but very, very coyly and never went into any detail or anything. Why do you think he did that? Because he was all about keeping the money flowing and keeping the big contract. That's what it's all about with these people. So in a sense, I mean, you know, with original sin and everything, people are so weak and are so spiritually and mentally damaged that it's almost to the point where you can't expect a person who has any earthly material possessions to actually do anything like this, because as human beings, all of us are so attached to our crap, so that, you know, you look through history, and not just with me, but God has to get people to a point where, you know, they don't have anything left on earth to be worried about, and then you're really liberated, and then you can lay it all out, you know. And, you know, I lost my business, and I voluntarily shut it down. I guess I shouldn't say lost because I did it of my own volition, but, you know, I'm looking around, and it's just like, what the hell, why not? I mean, my career is gone, and it's not going to come back until after there's some sort of a collapse in a war. There's no husband, there's no kids. Why shouldn't I do this? You know? And then you look back at your life and you say, oh, I see why all of these things happen now. So that I will be liberated and free to be authentically human and to act with a modicum of integrity in this situation.
Yeah, Dagny says, Anne is the most important person alive in America now. That's quite flattering, but
That's a bit much.
Yeah, well, but I'm not putting Dagny on the spot, but wouldn't we all want to be the most important person alive in America right now? And how come there's not more people willing to step up to be the most important person in America right now?
The culture's so degraded, and I've said this on many interviews. Dude, 60, 70 years ago, I'm completely nominal. I'm completely average. It's just that the culture is so far gone now that anybody acting with any sort of integrity whatsoever is just this insane spectacle. And I'd refer you back to World War II and what happened immediately after Pearl Harbor. I mean, I had a post on my blog a few years ago about, you know, Clark Gable dropped everything and went and enlisted